What was it really like to go online more than 25 years ago? How did the pioneers of the early internet live between 95 and let's say 2000? What tools did we use? Which programs ruled our screens? And which ones made us want to throw the PC out of the window? What did a typical night, let's say in 1999, even look like? This is the story of 90s internet culture. So, if you're into retro vibes and pure nostalgia, you are in the right place. Don't miss a moment and stick around until the end. Okay, let's have a look at the system that I'm using here. It's a Windows Server 2003 testing version that I can use for several months. And yeah, it's running on a PC that is 20 years old or so. And luckily it's still working. And you see the original desktop here with all the icons of the programs that I'm going to show you in this video. Yeah, the desktop looks very well like a desktop would have looked like back in the days 25 years ago. So folks, let's start with our first system that I want to show you. It is the NCSA Mosaic browser. And a few of you might know it. It was the first graphical browser which the internet had. And this program, guys, look at this. This is amazing. This software is from 1993. It's more than 30 years old. And before the web was colorful, before it had images, videos, online shops, Google search engine and stuff like that, the internet was basically a text-only playground for nerds at universities or at the military. And yeah, it was not very accessible for people, you know. And it took until 1993 when something magically happened and when the browser Mosaic was developed. And responsible for the software was the University of Illinois. And the main developer back in the days was Mark Andreessen. He was only 22 at the time, actually. And he wrote the program together with his friend Eric. And yeah, they made the first browser that could display text and images at the same time. Interesting aspect is that they made the first cross-platform browser actually, because they implemented it for Windows, for Macintosh and for Unix. Yeah, and it looks like this. It has the typical navigation buttons, the reload button, it has a history. I can type in a URL here, but yeah, I don't believe that it will work, but we can give it a try, of course. Just open a URL like www, the old net.com or something like this. The old net.com. Okay, doesn't work. Let's try something else. Let's try google.com. Okay, it doesn't work either. So maybe the software is a bit too old, but I can still open a local file. I have one here. It's actually the first web page that we had on the internet. It was written by the CERN in Switzerland, and it looked like this. Simple markup text with hyperlinks, with blue colored hyperlinks and just text. Yeah, quite boring, but well, this was the beginning. And then there came later versions of Mosaic, like this one, which looks a lot more fancier with this 3D logo. And it was from 1996, I think. Yeah, 1996. And yeah, it had more features. It had, it looked more like a browser that we would expect a browser to look like today. And you can enter the URL here. Let's see what happens. Doesn't work. It crashes. Okay. It's too much for the old browser. Let's try Google. But I don't think that it will work either. Okay, no problem. Yeah, at least I could show you the program, how it looked like. I can open a local file just to test it. Yeah, it can display local files. Okay, great. So it looked like this. It could already display text fields and buttons, as you can see here. So it was quite sophisticated for the time. So after the big milestone Mosaic, there came the next one, which was the invention of the Netscape browser. And again, it was Mark Andreessen who invented the software. Together with his colleague Jim Clark, he founded the Netscape company. And in just 1 year, it became the most important and the dominating browser worldwide. And it was really a new level. I will open it here. It's the Netscape Communicator that I have here, which is the newer version actually. But I wanted to show you the Netscape Navigator first because this was the first one to appear. And here I have the Netscape Navigator version 4.0. And yeah, the connection is quite slow, as you can see, because I simulate a 28.8 modem connection here. And so here you can see the version, Netscape Navigator 4.04 from the year 97 actually. So let's look how it will load an internet page. I will use the old net.com because this is one of the few websites that still exists that is compatible to these old browsers. So let's have a look how it is displayed, and yeah, it looks like the web pages were made back in the days. And you see here you can see the slow connection here. The kilobytes are really dropping in kilobyte by kilobyte like it was back in the days. And this is like a typical website would have looked 30 years ago. As you can see, there's a lot of animated GIFs, like here the guest book, which was really important back in the time to have a guest book. Every website had one, so it was the most interactive part of most websites actually. More animated GIFs. And another special thing about the 90s and the early 2000s were the small browser icons, which should prove that the website is compatible to some sort of browser and browser version. So you had websites which supported Netscape, you had websites that were supporting Internet Explorer. Other websites wanted to show that they're compatible to the free-C standard and that they have sophisticated HTML in the background. So what would happen if I click a link here? I don't know, I haven't tried yet. Okay, it opens something. And as you see, back in the days, you had to scroll a lot because most websites were single-page websites. You had all the information, all the stuff, all the links on the front page, and yeah, you had to scroll through it and see if you can find anything usable. But that was the time. Yeah? We didn't expect to find information the easy way. So this is Netscape version 4. Pretty sophisticated. It already had bookmarks, I guess. Yeah, there it is, bookmarks. It had, of course, the navigation buttons. You already could move the toolbar, which is a cool feature from my point of view. It had the first security implementations. I think they had SSL, the first SSL versions for a secure socket layer. It was also invented by Netscape, by the way. And it had a Java console. Okay, this is interesting. So this means it already had the first JavaScript implementation or something like this. This is really interesting. I didn't know that. And this is the modern version of Netscape, Netscape 7.02 from 2003. So now you're looking at a browser that is around 20 years old, 22 years. It had Java, JavaScript. You could already display Java applications, Java applets which were browser-based small Java applications. It supported Shockwave Flash, which is its own story. I could make a full video only on Shockwave Flash, I think. It was very important back in the 90s because the bandwidth was very limited, internet speed was slow, and so it was important to be able to get animations and interactive elements into the web pages somehow without consuming too much bandwidth. And Shockwave Flash was one solution for that problem. Because it could use scalable vector graphics, which were very small and which could be compressed to a small size, and which could make the websites look a lot better, feeling more interactive, and adding really good animations for the time into the web pages. And I'd also like to show you a special one. You won't believe it, but this is Netscape version 1.0. Guys, look at this. It's from 1994. And it runs perfectly. And look at this primitive, ugly logos that they had back in those days. It's really unbelievable that they sold so many copies of their software later on, and millions of users worldwide. And the first version was just so simple. It's really incredible. Let's try theoldnet.com. That's funny, no viewer configured. But the application should be a viewer. I don't get it. Save to disk, cancel transfer. Okay. Well, does not really seem to work anymore, but still it looks awesome. So just a few words to a thing that was called the browser wars, which is an important part of the whole story. It was between 97, I guess, and 2000 or 2001. And it was Microsoft's big fight against Netscape. It wasn't quite a tech competition, it was more a strategic battle. And then Microsoft did what Microsoft always did in the 90s. They saw something cool and said, we're not buying it, we are destroying it. And there was a famous memo of Bill Gates in the year 95 where he said the internet is a tidal wave and it will change everything. And he was right. Microsoft had completely slept through the early web with their Internet Explorer, which was no match for the Netscape browser in the first days. And finally, they woke up and they freaked out. Microsoft tactics were to make the Internet Explorer free, while Netscape was still sold as a browser to companies. And the Internet Explorer got bundled with the operating system Windows 95 and 98. And Microsoft poured billions of Internet Explorers into development, and it suddenly became very good. It became quite a good competitor to Netscape by the year 98. And then in the year 98, Netscape started to crumble and to collapse. And in the year 2001, Internet Explorer had 95% of market share, and Netscape almost disappeared by the time. And in only 3 years, from a big successful Silicon Valley company with the biggest and best browser in the internet, it transferred into a tiny company that wasn't really important anymore. Okay, let's switch to the next one, and this is really big internet culture. We are now going to IRC chat, and what was IRC chat? It was a network that existed quite a long time. It was developed already in the 80s, and it was simply a textual chat program that was used with Telnet or with console applications, command lines. So it was very simple and just text-based. But then there was an application which was called mIRC, which was developed in the year 94, or I guess it was 93 or 94. And yeah, this was really revolutionary because it was a graphical interface to the textual IRC chat. And it was developed by a guy called Khaled. You see his picture there. He actually had some sort of picture of himself in every IRC version or so, which was quite a funny thing by itself. And yeah, IRC was a really cool thing. It was our Discord or our Instagram and WhatsApp together. And this already 30 years ago. I mean, we already had all that stuff, and we were exchanging about a lot of topics, about tech topics, programming stuff, hobbies, and it was possible to exchange files over IRC chat. There was a function called DCC, which allowed to transfer data, which was quite important for us at the time because there weren't so many other options how to transfer files. There was no Dropbox or something like this, and you couldn't transfer files via email because it was pretty much restricted to small files and wasn't really possible to transfer bigger files by email. So mIRC was a real alternative that we used. Yeah, and it looked like this. This is the application. I'm using Libera Chat because this is on a server which is still existing and is still quite populated with people. I think there are about 10 or 20,000 people who are using Libera Chat on a regular basis, and we have a good chance to see somebody here to Libera Chat, and it looks the same as it was back in the days. Same thing, it's the same port that we are using, it's the same welcome message here that we had back in the days. You see how much people are online, how many operators, IC operators are connected to the network. You see that there are over 20,000 channels formed and more than 2,700 clients, which is quite average for a weekday because it's Monday. It's not as crowded as it would be on a Saturday, of course. And the most frequented channel here is actually Libera. And I will join this. And you see here the channel. Slowly the names are appearing because I have limited my connection speed to 28.8 kilobits, which simulates a modem like you would have it back in the 90s. And here you see all the people, the operators with the add symbol in front. They can kick people out of the channel or they can ban them completely. It was quite a respected role that you could have in the 90s to be a channel operator. Some operators were very famous and had a very high reputation. And now I will use the opportunity to write something funny here. Let's see if someone responds to this. Maybe they will. Yeah, it's really cool to see that this there was no Libera 30 years ago, just saying. Yeah, he is absolutely right. Yeah? There was no Libera chat back in the days. But it's really stunning to see that this almost 25-year-old application is still running and really in a good shape, perfectly stable. Okay, really cool. Okay, let's switch to the next one. And this, people, is really big cinema. So, do you know Napster? If you were browsing the internet in the late 90s, you do it for sure. So Napster was something that was a completely shock to the music world back in the days. It was launched in 1999 and it was one of the first peer-to-peer file sharing platforms. It spread like a wildfire. Anyone with an internet connection could download almost any song they wanted for free and discover music from all over the world. What made Napster so special wasn't the music itself, it was the feeling of unlimited access. You typed a song, you hit a search, instantly saw hundreds of people sharing it. And it was exciting, totally new, but the freedom didn't last. And as the platform grew, the music industry panicked. Lawsuits piled up, artists protested, and in 2001, Napster was forced to shut down. It was like the end of an era. A digital Wild West suddenly closed forever. Still, Napster changed everything. It pushed the world toward online music, streaming, and the way we listen today. Okay, guys, now let's switch over to ICQ. It was the instant messaging revolution of the 90s. With ICQ came the possibility to make one-to-one instant messaging, to have contact lists, to have an online and offline status indicator to see if you can reach somebody or not. You had notifications and file transfer. So ICQ didn't just send messages, it created your digital identity. And it blew up really fast. It ran on Windows, it was stupidly easy to use, it was totally free, and it spread worldwide really instantly. Within 1 year, ICQ had over 1 million users. That was insane for the year 1996. But then, as always, there came a big company, in this case it was AOL in the year 1998, and bought ICQ for an amount of 287 million. Okay, and now a little test if the ICQ application still works in the year 2025. You see it here, it's running. It's the same application as it was 20 years ago. I didn't change anything, I didn't touch any settings or something. Yeah, I don't have any user information or registration here, of course. I can just type something in here. And try to connect. But of course it doesn't work. I need an email address, okay. Let's type in something. But I guess it will not even contact any server because they're simply not existing anymore. As far as I know, they shut the last servers down some years ago. So chances are very bad that there is any reaction coming. I can still fill out the registration information. Okay. Yeah, let's type in something here. Registering user, okay. That sounds very promising. But it would be quite sensational if this works in the year 2025. I don't think so. Yeah, as expected. Could not complete registration. Okay. Connection settings. Login.icq.com. Okay, I don't think that the site exists anymore in any form. So I don't think the server exists and therefore no connection possible, of course. Yeah, but at least we gave it a try, which is good. And you could see the ICQ application again. But maybe you can still remember how it was like back in the days. So the next one is for the people that use Discord or Teams or maybe WebEx or something. Did you know that meeting online, sharing the screen, using webcams and talking to each other was already possible in the year 1996? We had a program called Netmeeting. It was from Microsoft. And it was one of these products that was way too far ahead of its time. It had video chat with a dial-up modem. You could share a whiteboard. It had remote assistance tools. It had voice over IP in the mid of the 90s, believe it or not. And it was really super easy and primitive to share your screen with others. So back in the days in the 90s, we already had Zoom long before we had Zoom. We had Teams long before Teams or WebEx before WebEx. It was decades ahead of everyone else. In 1996, it already implemented the H.323 standard. It's a protocol that would later evolve into the SIP, the backbone used by Skype and other modern voice-over IP systems. In other words, Netmeeting was delivering a 2005 era communication, and this was back in 1996. Now, before I start with the next one, do you remember the following sound effect?
Winamp. It really whips the llama's ass.
Well, yeah, it is Winamp, the legendary digital music player. Long before Spotify, before iTunes, before anyone even knew what MP3 really was, there was Winamp. What made it legendary? It was created by a guy called Justin Frankel. He was only 18 years old back in the time, and he came from California, and he founded a tiny company called Nullsoft. And you have to think of that there was no good MP3 players back in those days. And the Windows Media Player was, well, let's be honest, really trashy. So MP3 decoders were clunky and unstable. There were no playlists, no skins, no customization. MP3 was brand new, it was amazing, it was fun to play with, but the programs really sucked. So there comes Frankel and he drops a beautiful customizable player, super efficient decoding with playlists, plugins, an open platform for a whole community. It wasn't just a program, it was a movement. And the insane part, in 1999 there came AOL and bought Nullsoft for an unbelievable sum of $80 million for a tiny company built by an 18-year-old. That was absolutely mind-blowing. And here you see it, the Winamp player. I have it here. I think it still looks great. You have here a graphical equalizer that you can use. There were different options that we still have today in modern players, like the shuffle function or the loop function and other stuff. And there was visualization. And I really like this one. And then there was Eudora, one of the earliest and most beloved email clients in the 90s. Long before webmail became the norm, Eudora was the tool that made email fast, personal, and even a little bit fun. It was lightweight, reliable, and packed with features that seemed ahead of their time, like filters, signatures, and offline access. For students, professionals, and early internet fans, Eudora was the gateway to digital communication. Hearing the little "you've got mail" moment was just practical. It felt exciting. Eudora helped shape the way we think about email today, back when every message felt new and special. Now we're getting to the last topic of this video, and it is Realplayer and Quicktime player. In the late 1990s, multimedia on the internet was still in its childhood, so computers were slow, and streaming audio or video was quite impossible at the time. And that's why Realplayer and Quicktime player came to the market. They were the first technologies that tried to make videos and rich media accessible to everyone, like today with YouTube or Spotify. Realplayer was released in 1995 and was groundbreaking because it had true streaming media. For this time, you could listen to audio or watch tiny short videos which were downloaded in real time. It felt magical. You pressed play, the content actually started, and even when the quality was quite low, the experience captured our imagination. Quicktime, on the other hand, was Apple's answer to high-quality digital video. It offered smooth playback, better compression, and support for a wide range of formats. Quicktime became the backbone for early CD-ROM trailers and for interactive media. If you wanted sharp graphics or professional-looking video, Quicktime was the only tool that made it possible.